Hello friends, it's Tyler from Rehab to Fab Designs, and today I'm going to walk you through my bathroom makeover. Here's a quick little video of the before. As you can see, we have typical stained cabinets, and my countertops were a brown with kind of some green and gray flecks in them and orange, just not my color. So we decided we were going to finally do a makeover. We started by getting rid of our builder grade mirror. It was huge and took up the whole back wall behind our countertop and sinks. We were able to remove this easily but also precariously by using some shims that we tapped into behind the mirror, between the mirror and the wall, and did them on the top and on the side and just kept doing that very gently until it popped off, luckily without breaking. As you can see here, my husband was very proud of himself for figuring out how to do this, and also very happy that the mirror did not break. Once we got the mirror down, we saw all this glue that had remained stuck to the wall that did not come off with the mirror, and I swear it looks like tar and feels like it. So in order to get that off, we basically just took a putty knife and used it, or a box cutter, and just scraped it off. It did leave some gouges in the wall, but we were able to come back and fill those with wood putty, so we'd have a nice smooth surface to get started with our accent wall. Once I got all the old glue off, I used a sanding pad and 150 grit sandpaper to just sand off and smooth some of those edges. Then I used patch and paint and a putty knife to smear into those damaged areas to fill them to get a nice even surface. Once the patch dries, you simply sand back over it to smooth. Now, I knew that I was going to hang shiplap on this wall, so technically I could have just left it as is, but it just felt kind of lazy to me and I hated to do that, so we went ahead and repaired it. Next up, we had to remove the countertop. In order to do that, we had to pull the existing sinks out. So my husband went underneath the cabinet and removed anything that was holding these in place, and then we used a razor and this other little tool that he picked up at Home Depot to remove the putty or silicone that was used to hold the sinks in place and seal them. And now we're getting somewhere. Time to remove the countertop. Now keep in mind, there was nothing wrong with my countertop. It was in great shape, but I did not like the colors of it. It's very warm in nature, and I tend to go for lighter, cooler tones, and so I have wanted to replace them since we have bought this house. If you've ever shopped for countertops, you'll know that they don't come with the pre-existing holes for your sinks. So in order to mark those, we simply flipped the new countertop over and put the other one on top of it, and then used a pencil to mark the inside where the holes were. Then it was time to paint the wall, but first we're going to remove this piece of trim from the countertop, and then we're going to paint the wall. The reason I'm painting the wall is because I plan on hanging shiplap, and as you know, shiplap has a gap between the boards, and so you want the painted wall behind it to be the same color as your shiplap, otherwise it is going to show up in between those gaps. For my wall in shiplap, I'm using Behr in Ultra Pure White, and it's basically just white paint that you pick up off the counter without adding any tint to it. I applied it using a roller to speed up the process. Because our countertop that we purchased at Lowe's was just a little bit larger than our existing one, we ended up having to bring the cabinets out a small bit, so my husband used 2x4s to place on the wall to make up for the gap. Luckily, we didn't have to change anything with our plumbing. Unfortunately, when we cut the holes for our new countertop, it was dark outside and I was having to hold a flashlight for my hubby, so I didn't get a video of it. However, he used a jigsaw after taping the top side of the new countertop to prevent damage to create the holes for our new countertop. As you can see here, it is a nice smooth cut, and we got no jagged edges on our new countertop. And I'd call that a win, people. And by the way, this is the name of the countertop we purchased, and it came from Lowe's. And who can do a bathroom makeover without also updating the lighting? This is from Hampton Bay, and it came with the vanity light along with towel bars, a hook, and toilet paper holder. After turning off the breaker for this room, my husband removed the existing lighting to get ready for the new. Because we had to move our counter out slightly to accommodate the new countertop, we had to remove part of the baseboard, and my husband had me run to Home Depot to pick up this tool for that. It is a Ryobi multi-use tool. Here's a pic of what the bathroom looks like with the new countertop installed. The sinks put in place and our wall that's painted white so we can get ready for shiplap. So like I said before, you have to put gaps in between your boards for shiplap, so we used a quarter for this. So we would hold a board up, put quarters in between the new board and the board we had just placed, and then we used our Ryobi airstrike to nail the next board into place and continue doing this down the length of the wall. Here's what it looks like. We also cut out circles for our lighting and also squares, or I guess rather rectangles, around the outlets. These cuts were also made using a jigsaw. If you'll remember, we took down that huge builder grade mirror, so it's time for new mirrors to go up. These I picked up off Amazon. You can find them in my Amazon storefront, and I love them. As you can see here, I was super excited when I opened the package and saw them. They are also a matte black finish, and they have an arched top, and then they also have the device on the side so you can use it to swivel, which we won't really utilize, but I just love the look of having that added hardware on the side. To install them, we pre-drilled holes through our shiplap and our existing drywall to get ready to install the new hardware. It came with anchors and all the other needed hardware to install them with ease. Me super excited about my mirrors, my husband not super excited to be on camera. Now for the wall, and joining my shiplap wall, I am going to hang some wallpaper. This is a wallpaper that I ordered from Amazon and have used in the past. It's from a company called New Wallpaper, and I love this print. It's in grays and whites, and it's neutral, but it also gives a little bit of color to an otherwise boring room, and it's so fabulous. My toilet, thank God, is in a different room from the rest of my bathroom, and it's rather small, and I thought adding wallpaper to it would give it a really big impact. And to be honest, I really wanted to put it across the ceiling too, but I knew I wouldn't be able to line it up, and it would bother me. So this is peel and stick wallpaper, and it's really pretty easy, but hanging wallpaper is just a pain, to be honest, anytime. You do have to line it up side by side, and also trying to get it straight all the way down the length of the wall. And to be honest, again, mine's not perfect, but it's close enough, and I love, again, this huge impact that this wallpaper made in this otherwise teeny tiny room. This is the wall that meets my new shiplap wall, and as I said, I was putting paper on it as well. I did not video that, however, because it gets kind of boring to do repetitive work on camera. And I stopped right here because I think I'm going to paint my existing ceramic tile so it matches, but in the meantime, I am building a chicken coop, so you'll have to wait. And then next up, we are going to be painting the cabinets. Watch for that video to come out next. As always, thanks for watching, and be sure and like and subscribe. See you soon.